Alright, hello everybody and welcome to today's modern video. Today we'll be doing a one and done series with a deck that I did not build. In fact, a friend of mine on Facebook named Josh Walker reached out to me and he said, hey, I would like some advice on this list that I've been building. And he showed me the list, the preliminary list, and I gave him some advice, and he came back and he updated the list, and this is the first update that he made since I gave him my feedback. Now, I'm not sure how much he's tested the deck, where he's at in that process, and honestly, I'm not 100% sure for the reasoning for every single card in this deck, but I thought that, I have some time today, and I don't necessarily have all my content planned for the rest of the week, so I've got time. Might as well do a one and done series here with a fun little kind of black-white splash blue, so we'll call it Esper deck. And in Modern, right? So this deck is, as you see in front of you, mostly black-white. We have a lot of black-white duels in here, so 4 Shambling Vents, 2 Godless Shrines, some fetches. We have 4 Field of Ruins, so really it does feel like mostly a 2-color deck, but you are splashing blue for some very specifically powerful cards. Specifically, Search for Iskanta, which, is very powerful. It can fix your draws, and then when it flips, it just, what's the word I'm looking for? Drowns your opponent in card advantage. It's absolutely insane in getting ahead. And then, of course, you're playing blue for Teferi as well. Teferi is an insane magic card. It only needs 1 blue in its casting cost, so it's relatively easy to splash as well, especially because you only need that 1 island by turn 5. And then the rest of the deck is your average kind of black-white mid-range shell. We've got 4 Lingering Souls. We've got 4 Path to Exile. A Liliana, some hand disruption like Inquisition and Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Timely Reinforcements. We've got Gideon here, so this is a lot like a black-white Planeswalkers deck, but you're splashing blue for some extra power. You have 2 Night's Whisper here to draw you some cards, Collective Brutality to kind of be hand disruption, be removal, be life gain, all in one card. Also, discarding cards like Lingering Souls is kind of value, and you can also discard extra copies of Search for Iskanta, or other cards that aren't relevant in the matchup, like maybe your sweepers or your removal. Those aren't always live in every matchup. So this deck has no counter magic, so it's not your standard blue deck at all, because it's hardly blue at all, so it's very tap out control based. Tap out, I want to say control, but it's really hard to classify. This is also kind of mid-rangey, This kind of doesn't necessarily want to prolong the game forever, but it has tools to prolong the game when necessary, and also has tools to beat down when necessary. You've got 2 Gideon of the Trials, 4 Lingering Souls, and a Gideon Jura that, turns into a 6/6 and just beats down your opponent. So, a lot of cool things going on here. I can't say whether they're all great, but again, this is a list I copied card for card, exact 75 that Josh gave me, or at least the last one he's posted publicly. So he's also got a sideboard here. We have a lot of hate cards for the graveyard, like Leyline of the Void, a Thoughtseize as extra disruption for control and combo, and even Tron. You have a Surgical Extraction because sometimes you just need that, instant speed free spell against Vengevine. You have Anguished Unmaking as a kind of catch-all spell. 2 Damping Sphere for Tron and Storm and other combo decks. You have Celestial Purge for Blood Moons and Lilianas and Gurmag Anglers and whatnot. Disenchant for same idea, Blood Moons or KCIs or Cranial Platings. 3 Stony Silence again for Tron, Affinity and KCI. And then Timely Reinforcements is great against Burn. So even though we're on 3 Collective Brutality, having that extra life gain effect is quite nice in the 75. Alright, so that's basically the rundown of this, black, white, splash blue Planeswalker mid-range deck. Again, not my list, but we're going to try it out, see how it performs, maybe give Josh some feedback at the end, and this is also just a nice way for both Josh and others to see how the deck performs in one match, right? I hope for the best. This deck looks like it's doing powerful things. As long as our curve works out well, I think this deck should perform nicely. So stay tuned for that. I'll play this one match in this one and done series, and I'll see you all soon. Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to today's one and done series with black-white Planeswalker control. Hey, you too. Sweet. Our hand looks pretty fantastic. We have removal, we have hand disruption, we have a turn 3 Liliana to play towards. Ooh, Shelldock Isle. This could be Mill. Mill is a pretty good archetype, and we don't necessarily have an angle of attack that fights them. So oddly enough, Mill is a contender in Modern. So wow, their hand is quite bad. We'll take the Visions of Beyond. It's the one that, you know, can spiral out of control, but their hand was a bunch of non-mill cards. So we'll see if they top deck something to do here. Manic Scribe. Yeah, I was worried about that. Now that we drew, they only have one card type. We could Liliana downtick on it and just get this set up here. Not ramp my opponent. Because they need Delirium, right? If there are 4 more cards in your graveyard, yeah. Don't really want Field of Ruin right now. I think we just go Liliana, downtick on the Manic Scribe. In fact, we could even uptick, right? We could just uptick. No, let's uptick it. This Manic Scribe is really not doing anything anytime soon. And we have all these Path Exiles. Let's get rid of the basic planes. I could have gotten rid of a Path Exile. What am I doing? That was loose. That was loosey-goosey. Did want to keep this Field of Ruin for the Shelldock Isle, but I don't want to search my library because of Archive Trap. Alright, double Manic Scribe. Not bad, but cool. So here I think we just go +1 again. They'll probably discard this Crypt Incursion. Here I'll discard a Path Exile. We just don't need this many paths. We'll work towards a Liliana Ultimate. They discarded Crypt Incursion. They have a double Archive Trap. Sure. Yeah, I think working towards Liliana Ultimate is just the best thing we can do here. Glimpse. Yeah, that's fine. They've been a Lingering Souls for us. Yep, that's a Lingering Souls. So now we also have a Clock. Just go ahead and Path Exile this right away. Oh, this Manic Scribe is soon going to be online. I think I want to make my opponent discard here. Oh, I misplayed. I should have played everything out like I wanted to. Well, classic. Classic misplays. Clearly I don't know how to play this deck, so. Then on their upkeep. No, I guess on their draw step. I guess it doesn't matter. We can even do it on end step. Search for his Kanta. Wow, that's a card. That's a good one. At least we got this Field of Ruin, though. So if my opponent decides to keep that pile, and they're just going to concede to the Liliana Ultimate, I don't blame them. I think I need to get back in the zone here because I did not play that great that match. So for this matchup, an extra Thoughtseize seems fine. Surgical doesn't seem that reasonable to me. Anguish Unmaking is good because they have the enchantment, that fraying sanity. They also have the orb, Mesmeric Orb. Both of this is reasonable to hit that. Same for Disenchant, also pretty reasonable. Leyline, they don't use their graveyard all that much. Again, Surgical doesn't seem that good. Damping Sphere doesn't seem that good. I actually like removal in this matchup quite a bit. I don't know if I like Bantus, but I do like the 4-mana Wraths. So let's get these in here. And I don't like Timely in this matchup, so Disenchant. And I think most of our deck here is pretty live against what my opponent is doing. Again, they have Manic Scribes, they have the crabs on one, so having removal for that is pretty important. But overall, I think our deck is pretty well designed to... Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, you know, I take it back. I thought we were pretty heavy on, like, all-in removal, but now that I look at the list, it's like, a lot of the stuff we're doing is live against Mill, and if they don't have their engine pieces, then we're in a good spot. This hand is a little slow, but it's fine. Alright, there's the crab. Crab is good. Oh boy. Well, at least we don't have any fetches. Archive Trap is not great. But my opponent could easily get one of their, stick their mill piece. That's really hard to beat here. They could even stick a Search for Azcanta. There goes 3 lands off the top of our deck. I guess thank you, but I'm not sure. Especially because they could easily surgical one of these lands reasonably. Alright, Fatal Push. That's a shame. Glimpse. Oh boy. Alright, there goes a big chunk of our deck now. Well, there's a Damnation to work towards. I guess I Inquisition now. Sweet, we get the Mesmeric Orb. That's really nice. They do have a lot of lands waiting around, so... Do I want to set up blue mana or black mana? I think next turn I'm probably going to try to cast a double discard spell, get the Set Adrift, and then maybe get something else that they pick up here. Although, not sure how reasonable that is. So they milled 2 basics. Which is kind of good. Wouldn't mind finding like a Path to Exile or a Fatal Push for this thing. They're probably gonna Field of Ruin me on my upkeep or my draw step. I wonder then if we get an island. Huh. So now it feels like I kind of screwed up. Start here. Double Archive Trap. So I imagine they'll Archive Trap me now by using Field of Ruin. And now we can get a basic island and play the Search for Azcanta. Opponent gets to mill me a bunch, because unfortunately this Archive Trap is not a May ability. Ugh. This crab is getting out of hand. Never thought I'd say those words. Yeah, wow. Oof. Still have another Field of Ruin in there. God, the Search for Azcanta. I think I just want to flip it right away and never ever mill. Oh no. Oh boy. Yep. Opponent's just giving it to us here. They'll play a land. At least we have a little bit of time here. Ugh. Go down to 5 cards. We've milled most of our win conditions. I don't think we can mill this because we just need that. Now we have to Damnation. Play a Colonnade. Opponent still has Field of Ruin to kill the Colonnade. So I think we're pretty dead here. Opponent had a pretty good set of rips off the top after they have like a surgical here. They want to look at my deck. Yeah. Wow, that was actually I mean, I don't want to say a really good draw, but let's go ahead and concede to that. There's just no way we have enough time to deal my opponent enough damage. Yeah. We had like 3 turns. Weren't going to get there. I think we just say submit, hope to draw some better removal. Maybe Bantu's is better because it comes down earlier. But I don't know, I feel like if we just draw a Fatal Push or a Path, we might be fine. Like, yeah, this hand seems not the best, but it's absolutely serviceable, I guess is the word I'm going to use here. Mana's not perfect. Alright, so I guess we just Inquisition here. I could Collective Brutality, but I'd rather not. I think I get the Mesmeric Orb here. I guess I have the Disenchant. Maybe I get the Search for Azcanta. Yeah, I think I'll take the Search, actually. Might be a mistake. There's the Orb. Just need to hit a white source and we can Disenchant it. That's great. So I think I just say go here. Hedron Crab. Alright. Fair enough. That's going to mill us a bit. I'm going to save the Fatal Push for the Manic Scribe. Wow. Plains and Marsh Flats. Thankfully, we're running the second Plains. It's not the end of the world. But that means this Field of Ruin might be able to actually cut us off of white eventually. Yep, there's the Manic Scribe. Fatal Push that. Hope to hit a land here. I guess it's technically a land, but I don't think it's going to be good enough right now. I think we just want to go 2 modes. Target opponent reveals, target creature gets -2. Discard the Lingering Souls. Get the Crypt Incursion. Now all they have is a Manic Scribe. Now if we can hit 1 more land, we can Disenchant. But that second Manic Scribe is a pretty good Magic card. It's going to mill me every turn for 3. They just draw, what did they draw? Mind Funeral here. Fraying Sanity. Oh. That gets me a Plains, which seems mighty reasonable here. Comes the Manic Scribe. So we don't know the last card in their hand, but let's just go ahead and Disenchant this right now. Mills us for 3. Mills us for another 3. Now I think we just try to race our opponent. If we hit another land off the top, then we can start double flashbacking here. Thoughtseize. That's not good. So I guess we just attack. Try to get aggressive now. Try to outpace this Manic Scribe. We'll deal 4 next turn, put him to 9. Okay, put him to 8. And then it's dead in 2 turns, so they have to just whiff a little bit. So far, so good. Ooh. Considering that flashing back once doesn't change our clock, I think. Do they have a Crypt Incursion here? Echoing Truth. We could Fatal Push it, couldn't we? That really screws up our clock. Oh, gosh. So, how do we want to do this? We could Field of Ruin right now, and then Fatal Push our own Spirit, still get in there for 3. Alternatively, we could Field of Ruin right now, and then just Fatal Push the Manic Scribe. How are we winning this game if we're not... If we're not dealing 3 damage a turn? Alright, well. Kind of awkward here with that Manic Scribe still sticking around, but... It was nice to get rid of that Field of Ruin at a time where I know my opponent can't have Archive Trap, so... Extirpate. Ugh! I needed that Lingering Souls to make it a 2-turn clock. Okay, well, it's a game. I guess Collective Brutality still... I guess we've used all of our Collective Brutalities, so... Just give me something good here. Just anything. Anything at all. And don't give my opponent anything. Shelldock Isle, no! Ugh, now I need that Field of Ruin. I've used 1. Still have a Field of Ruin somewhere in my deck. Jeez, that's... Do I even have... I do have Godless Shrine to fetch. And I can 0 Gideon here? Oh, yeah, that seems... Come on. Come on. No, 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 no. What did they find off of the Shelldock Isle? Damnation? Glimpse? Field of Ruin? Nope, they're dead. Oh, thank God. And I guess they would have still been dead even through everything. So, I don't feel so bad. Okay. Yep, still beat him. Still beat Mill. Oh my gosh. Can't lose the game. I'm worried I been some sort of flashback instant speed bounce spell. Yeah, they're still dead. No matter how they do it here. Okay. Wow. Not the perfect of piloting on my end. And Mill did Mill things, but Gideon coming in there with a 0 the very last turn. We would have died because of Manic Scribe's ability, which I totally forgot. So Gideon on the last possible turn, getting that second white, finally gets us there. Wow. What can I say? I think this deck was quite a blast. Just having both hand disruption as well as really hard to answer threats that like Planeswalkers, I think are really nice in a control deck. You know, hand disruption is kind of rough sometimes, especially because you're a deck that likes to prolong the game, but then you don't have any ways to shuffle them back in or make use of them in the late game. Liliana helps us a little bit with her +1 binning them, but what I like about the more dedicated blue-black decks is that Jace is able to shuffle back in your discard spells in the late game, whereas you can't really do that here. And I don't know if a deck like this can reasonably support Jace, but maybe it's worthwhile to make it support Jace, you know, go heavier into the blue, trim a couple Field of Ruins, add a couple more fetches, shave the Shambling Vents for, you know, Celestial Colonnades or something of that nature, or Creeping Tar Pits even. I think Jace is invaluable with these discard spells, especially if you're already going to be playing blue. Now, again, I don't think that you have to take the deck that way. I understand what the deck is doing in the sense that it's, basically black, white, Gideon, splash, blue. So I think the deck works either way, but I do think that this will come up very often when your opponent is hellbent and you're top decking discard spells and you have nothing to turn those discard spells into. So yeah, while you have Liliana and Collective Brutality to sometimes convert them reasonably, this draw happens more often than you might think, in my opinion. But again, I haven't tested this deck extensively, but those are going to be my closing comments for Josh and anybody else considering picking up this deck. I think it's pretty fun, doing cool things, fair things, and is able to interact with a large majority of the format, with combo, with control, with aggro. Yeah. So overall, nice job building this deck, Josh. I would, again, consider potentially moving into Jace's to alleviate this issue here. And then obviously the rest of the deck seems pretty nice. Again, I'm not convinced Bantu's is where a control deck wants to be, but I do understand that a turn 3 sweeper is sometimes really important in an aggressive format. So thank you all so much for watching this one and done series with kind of black, white, splash, blue, Planeswalker mid-range. And I will see you all next time.